Pow. All right, we are back with more Fantasy Poland Monday. Let
Woo!
me check my my tabs here. Tab. So I missed you last week, Tom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
No,
extremely
no,
sleepy
no,
last
no,
Monday.
no apologies, my friend. You gotta take care of yourself, you know. Like Amanda's sleeping right now, and likewise, very important sleep.
Why are you in the middle of the ocean?
Because while I had no guide, no Jiminy Cricket to tell me not to do stupid things, I went diving and
Oh, that's
got a
fun.
lot of loot and did a bunch of stupid things.
Did you see any terrifyingly huge
I
whales?
have not seen any whales yet. I
That's
am,
good.
however, like 2 pounds below my carry limit, so it's time to go sell some stuff.
Yep.
I have got a lot of weapons.
So, in similar open world game news, I completed Assassin's Creed Origins,
Ooh.
which was good. It's a very fun game. The final missions where so the last DLC for the game is called Curse of the Pharaohs. Um, and you go dealing with a pharaoh's curse, basically. But you go into several different iterations of the Egyptian afterlife,
Oh.
and it was really cool. Like very atmospheric, and all of the different afterlives were very different. Um, but yeah, so after I finished that, I
And you don't see a lot of stuff based around Kemetic religion, unfortunately,
yeah, very true.
which has
Yeah,
always personally been like as fascinating, if not more so than like Norse mythology.
yeah, yeah. The Egyptian mythology is really cool. But yeah, since I completed Origins, I started Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the next game in the series that is set in ancient Greece, and it's actually
Oh.
it's set before Origins, which has me asking the question like, how is the Assassin Templar conflict going to come up? Because Origins is where the Assassins get their start. So what I'm thinking is Assassin's Creed Odyssey is instead going to show us where the Templars come from.
I think that it may bear noting. I have never played an Assassin's Creed game.
So the basic
Nope,
concept,
not asking for the Cliff's notes.
okay, it
in
does have a very cool setting.
Yeah, in this case, I have read enough about the games in reviews to be like, this seems more complicated than I want to put the time and effort into at this moment.
Well, anyways, I've been playing Odyssey, and Odyssey is a terrible Assassin's Creed game and an amazing ancient Greece simulator.
Huh? Are these guys are stone, right? Are they stone?
Appear to be
Why are these man stone?
basilisk.
Basilisk, maybe? Got some bear fat and an amethyst, so.
Um, but yes, so the gameplay in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is real good. It's very entertaining, and one of the big changes that they've made is it's a lot more RPG now.
Mm-hmm.
To where like you have special skills that you can assign, and you have like special moves you can use in combat.
Oh no.
Um, and as appropriate for a game made post the movie 300 set in ancient Greece, one of the first moves you can use is called Spartan Kick. which is a full-on "This is Sparta" like
Yeah,
boot to the chest.
just a punch.
I am having so much fun in that game, kicking enemies off of high places like you don't even know.
I get you. I get you. All right. I need to shed a couple of pounds.
Go to your junk and drop off a couple of wolf pelts, probably.
I want to keep the bear hides. Old sheepskin. I only have the one wolf hide. Let's see, I can't get rid of those horse hides because they sell for $4.20 and that's hilarious. You know, we're just gonna we're just gonna slowly tough it out. Anyway. Yeah.
Like, have you mapped a town or a merchant?
No, I thought there would be a merchant in this other place, over here at the Marlin Coast, but, not so the case. So I'm gonna catch a roach and, ride back to town.
Come on.
Maybe I'll ride. What you doing there, Controls?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. $420.69. Alright.
Come on, Roach.
The horse is like, dude, you're killing me. You're so fat.
So, to get to the meat and potatoes of the discussion that I think we've been waiting several weeks to have.
Indeed, we have.
Spoiler alert for anyone in the audience.
Yeah, hey, everybody, we're going to talk about the Eternals. In case you are one of the 4 existing Eternals fans out there, we're going to talk about it. All right, that's Ruins of Urskar. I just need to go to Kertrolda Harbor. All right.
Yeah, that would probably be the best.
Yeah, so Eternals, what'd you think?
I was surprised. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
I think it was better than anybody thought it would be because nobody thinks that the Eternals would be any good.
I thought that the casting was fantastic. Like everybody was just about perfect for all of the various roles. The ending was a very good setup for a future movie.
And that's one of the things that I want, that I'm most excited to talk to you about. Wait a minute, Rob, what a terrible film. We have dissension in the ranks. Tell me what you thought was awful about it. Because of course, like, I on the one hand, I also kind of agree.
Maybe. Let me see what you got.
Like, it's very strange. I feel strongly like, yeah, I just watched it and the plot was all over the place. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. The point of it is actually not to be like, oh, hey, I can sell a gold ring for 4. That's useless to me. This guy's the exact wrong kind of vendor for me. All the cannibals. Bad writing and bad dialogue. Yeah, but I mean, like, honestly, I don't think that you can do something like the Eternals. I don't think you can do anything that is Kirby based and write convincing dialogue for it, right? Like, if you're going to be at all faithful to Jack Kirby's ideas for the characters, you have to understand that they are stupid and out there. And so your dialogue is going to be full of people, you know, talking about like the anti-life equation and dying for Darkseid and stuff like that. That was Kirby's jam, you know.
The Unimind.
Right, we have to get the Unimind so that Arishem the judge doesn't, you know, doesn't give us the quantum noogie. You know, it's yeah. I thought it was the best writing that I could expect based on something based on Kirby's work.
Like, watching it, I get the entire point behind why they made this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The entire point behind making the Eternals was as a vehicle to introduce all of the cosmology plot points they needed to about Celestials.
Mm-hmm.
Because Celestials are going to be real big in the current arc. So they needed a way to get all of that knowledge dump out in the movie. So this is what they did.
And that's I agree to a point. I really do think that the there we go. Hang on, let me buy some more stuff from this dude. Tom, I finished making my superior stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I found some dwarfs. I'll buy some roasted chicken. No. All right, we're good.
What I can't read what Rob just wrote.
Rob says, also, how did they all speak English? Even the hearing impaired Eternal was using American Sign Language. I mean, the hand wavy.
I mean, why does Thor speak English?
Right, and why doesn't he do it with a Minnesotan accent? Yeah, I think they should have been speaking a dead language. But I mean, like for the most part, they're still around, you know? Like, they speak English because, like, none of them went anywhere. They just hung around still. You know, like...
Well, I think he means why are they speaking English in ancient Babylon? But I assume that's just, you know,
yeah,
they didn't want to have the actors learn Babylonian.
All right, so Tom, can you take a look at this? Take a look at this steel sword.
That's pretty good.
It's 6 less damage, but it's also like
way more bonus damage.
Yeah, higher crit damage bonus and higher bleeding.
I'd switch to it.
Okay, cool. That means that any other fancy steel swords I can throw in here. So we'll put in our Wild Hunt Warrior sword. Oh yeah, I killed a bunch of them, or a couple of them too, so...
before Rob distracted us with his dissension, you were going to say that was the one thing that you wanted to talk to me about in regards to...
Oh,
go with that one instead.
All right.
You already sold it, so it's too late.
Oh, it's not sold, it's in a stash.
Oh, okay. The Wild Hunt Warrior sword, that's like way better.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no, I mean, it's 1% chance to freeze, 5% chance to poison, lower critical hit chance, and lower critical damage bonus, but it is 18 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will take that back. And that will go in the stash, because I like it and it's pretty good. Throw Adam Dath in there as well. Nah, we'll sell that. I did get a bunch of fancy new armor.
So you wanted to talk about the ending.
I wanted to talk about the stuff that they are setting up.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like, that's the big one for me, is the stuff that's a coming. What do you think that's going to be? All right, one of the cornerstone languages, Scottish.
I mean, I want Galactus.
Really?
I want them to actually do a good job with Galactus.
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, but then again, likewise, I also did not expect to enjoy the Eternals as much as I did. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah, the best thing the Eternals did was set up Black Knight. I think that another one of the things that the Eternals did very well, that maybe people are not thinking of because they have oh god, what do you call that thing, Tom, where you have outside interests?
I'm not sure.
A life. I think there's some
they're
people.
overrated.
Yeah, I think there's some people who have lives and are like, you know, hey, they may have missed the very subtle cues, right? I think that this is a follow-up to an Easter egg that was dropped way back in Endgame. I think it not only sets up the Black Knight, and again, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen it, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus now.
Ed Harrington is one of the better performances in the movie.
Mm-hmm. brief, albeit his performance may be. I think they're setting up Namor.
I mean, Aquaman is one of the few good properties that DC has, so competing with it would just take more wind out of their sails.
I mean, like, look, you can't do, if there's anything that the Fox abominations taught us, right? You can't just go, oh, let's tell a Fantastic Four story. Here's Galactus. Right? You have to kind of...
I think Galactus needs to be a multi-movie.
Yeah. I think you got to kind of work your way up to it.
Like, and given what they've already talked about is kind of going to be the deal with this arc in the MCU, I kind of want to see Kang having a plan that involves using Galactus.
Right. Or like something along the lines of like saving the world from Galactus because, you know, time stream shenanigans, what have you.
The one thing that I really want out of Kang for this whole arc is I want his villainy to be incredibly insidious. I want half the good guys in the MCU to be on Kang's side because they think that he's actually doing the right thing.
Right. My prediction is that when the already announced Fantastic Four movie comes out, that the Submariner is going to be our primary antagonist.
Primary antagonist.
Yes, that is my prediction.
That's interesting.
My prediction
what
is...
What was the Easter egg in Endgame that set up Namor?
When the Black Widow is talking to the rest of the Avengers, or the rest of the survivors about what to do.
When there's the hologram of the Earth with all the different places where things are happening.
Yes, and they talk about the how the ocean started rumbling, and that's a real big concern, right? And then they ask Okoye who is serving as like the emissary for Wakanda. They ask Okoye, well, what do we do about that? And she gets like this very weird kind of look on her face and goes, it's underwater. We do nothing.
I think her exact line is, it's an earthquake, we do nothing.
It's an earthquake under the ocean. We do nothing. Which I think is important. What do you think of the stats on that, Tom? Plus 11 armor, but I'd lose a bunch of other stuff.
Don't.
Yeah.
Definitely don't. Oof.
Let's see, 10% critical hand, but no critical damage bonus. Okay. Check these shoes. Light. 2% resistance to damage from monsters, though. Nah.
So do you think Black Knight is going to show up in Blade?
I believe so, yes.
Farewell.
That would be pretty kick-ass.
I think that they will have mentions of that in
Moon Knight?
if not in Moon Knight, because again, like by now Feige has learned like Homeboy knows what he's doing. He gets the pacing of these things. I think he knows that if you just like front load everything into one Disney Plus show, you're going to have people get frustrated by like introducing a whole new aspect of the Marvel universe, right? We have not delved into the horror side of things yet.
But I mean, Morbius comes out in just a couple months.
But so Morbius comes out in just a couple of months. Oh, all right, real quick. Rob said, remember those people who skipped town when I told them how much their art cost? They came back today, said they were interested in buying, they just had to gather funds. This is why communication with people that you commission is important. Don't skip out on people that make art for you. Right? Pay your artist friends. But yeah, like we haven't really gone head first into like the horror side of things.
Yeah.
Morbius comes out soon. We've gotten pretty multiversal with a lot of stuff. That's quite nice. Is Morbius going to be in the MCU? It's all kind of the same now with Spodermang. So, like, you may as well, right? Sure, why not? Get weird with it. Morbius.
Well, I mean, like, I texted you the other day, like, the MCU is going into a spooky phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be good.
No, but this is why I was so excited for you to see the Eternals, because I was like, the Eternals is not, despite what it appears to be, it is not the weird Jack Kirby, cosmic immortal entities, the we were once worshipped as gods thing that was his kick. That's not the important part of the Eternals. The important part of the Eternals is, hey, stuff is big, and also get ready for spook time.
Yeah.
It is just clearing the way for us to get another incredible vampire blood rave scene. Right? That's it.
I can't wait to see future MCU properties referencing the giant fucking head that is sticking out of the ocean.
Well, and that's the thing. I think they did in Endgame.
They couldn't, because the events of the Eternals occur after Endgame.
Mm-hmm. This is true. But I think that was like the beginning of the troubles, right? So
Yeah.
there's an earthquake underwater for whatever reason. Okoye is like, well, now we don't mess with that. It's under the ocean. Because if anybody knows, oh hey, we don't want to make Atlantis angry. Historically, it has been Wakanda. What's your deal?
Might I serve you?
Oh, it's a race. Nah, no thank you.
Nothing at the moment. Farewell.
And she just coughs on me, which, fantastic lady, thank you.
You're fine, John. You're a witcher.
Right. I'm a witcher. As I keep telling everybody. Oh, hey, welcome to town. I'm a witcher. Great. Dude, where are all my vendor homies? I need a solid blacksmith, yo.
So this is one of the things that has stuck with me, having watched the Eternals and like cross-referencing that with other times that Celestials have been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Nowhere.
Right. The head of a Celestial that the Guardians of the Galaxy hang out in, or that the Collector hung out in.
Yeah, which is likely destroyed after Thanos went there to get the Power Stone.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, had the best and most subtle Snatch reference I did not anticipate.
Expound?
Explicate, por favor. So do you remember... well, for starters, how familiar are you with the movie Snatch? The fantastic...
Extremely.
Okay.
I have seen it so many times.
Do you remember the very first scene where Benicio del Toro and his crew in rabbi disguise knock over an Antwerp diamond diamond
Yes.
thing, the thing that kicks off the inciting event that kicks off the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Josh Brolin as Thanos asks Benicio del Toro as Tantanavir, the Collector, the exact same thing. Where is the stone? Where is the stone? Just talking to me about how people in the Southern Hemisphere were just staring at the mighty balls of Arishem. And you just... somewhere in the South Pacific, people just look up and go, now that's the biggest taint I've ever seen. And believe you me, I've seen a lot of taints. That one, huge. That is a big taint.
So we have the head of Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ego.
Right. Ego, who claimed to be a Celestial, but is also somewhat unreliable about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the thing that we need to forget, or that we can't forget about Ego, is that he is aptly named, he is a manipulative asshat.
Yes. The other canon appearance of a Celestial that we have in the MCU, and I'm not bringing up Thanos because obviously he isn't a Celestial / deviant in the MCU.
He's one of the Eternals.
His brother is. I don't. They haven't established that for Thanos yet.
I
don't know.
I don't know if you know how brothers work, Tom.
Adopted is a thing.
Yeah, but it's not in this case.
Okay. I mean, we don't know canonically yet. They haven't
Right.
said.
I would be stunned if they decided to not have them related.
I mean, if they officially state that Thanos was an Eternal, I mean that would make sense from a power standpoint. Like in terms of how strong he was definitely on par with an Eternal. But the other canonical appearance of a Celestial that we have is in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, in the flashback where the Collector is talking about the Infinity Stones. We see a Celestial wielding the Power Stone to destroy a planet.
Yep.
And I want to know more about that.
That's the same guy that we saw that we see the Eternals kibitzing with. That's Arishem the Judge.
Wow. Okay.
Can I get to this?
I don't think you can. I think you have to start this quest, and I think starting the quest is related somehow to the main quest line in this area.
Fresh footprints.
Did you go and do the deal with the giant?
No.
You should go do the deal with the giant.
Hang on. There's stuff for me to CSI Fantasy Poland here. There's a key to a cellar. I'm gonna poke around here real quick. I know it's probably a bad idea, but somebody sounds really upset.
Saris. Passed
Oh,
out.
I found Saris. Who's Saris?
The
Oh,
yeah, who's trying to become queen?
It's just awful.
yeah. What's up?
Something heavy.
Carrot?
That's right. Saris is my girl. See, I spend
Croc's worried.
I spend 2 to 3 weeks diving and picking up side quests, and I forget all of the politics.
You're not going anywhere. I carried you out of there a moment ago, half dead.
I have to.
You have to tell me what's going on.
Why you go in the house?
I wanted to help.
Yeah.
Sure, he was acting strange.
I think so. So I think that in Moon Knight's
I only found the sword.
Disney Plus show, right? We're going to get introduced to some of the
Sword all about.
wider cast of characters that Disney Plus
Udric's clan.
content is going to like help kind of ease us into
Years ago, Udric
like the horror-based movies, right?
as custom has it.
Uh,
the sword should go to the first
Because I think that the
But-
Disney Plus stuff is like more suited to horror because you can take your time with the pacing.
But Moon Knight
These lands.
comes out after Morbius.
Moon Knight does
Like-
come out after Morbius, but again, Morbius is not.
We're already going to have a horror.
Guessing the old.
We're going to have a horror
They changed
Spider-Man movie.
up to
The Sony stuff is not quite MCU yet. It's Spider-Man,
he and Aki
but not MCU. It's like MCU adjacent.
I mean, after No Way Home, it's kind of all MCU now. But
Well, no, because I mean, like, yeah, it is all MCU, but it's still very much a Sony movie, right?
storm broke out and Aki fell overboard. Udric had his hands.
And the
but,
Sony
but
the Sony
as-
movies are taking their cues from
Didn't want to.
from the MCU.
on the island.
But you're not going to tell me that Kevin Feige would have made some of the choices they made in Venom,
oh, definitely not.
right? You can't say like, oh yeah, this fits in the MCU. You know, with that classic line, like a turd in the wind that everybody says.
But now, considering certain things,
No,
I think he's just.
that's a string of words that
It's his dead.
that we want connected with the MCU. I think Aki.
Believe Atlas
so-
gave his revenge, 'cause he was
So which one's Udalric?
I've talked to Yort. He swears Udalric didn't start
Good
hearing
lord.
voices till after
I don't know.
Right, so she talked to Hjort. Hjort says that Udalric didn't start hearing voices until after Aki's death.
Oh,
So we've got to give
so
Brockvar to Aki so he'll leave Udalric alone. Come on, Tom.
these are local people. This is the plot that you're going to be going through in order to this is the Heim.
Aki and Udalric both lived here.
It real creepy.
Thanks for your help, Geralt. But I've got to
You're going to be
Out of the question.
dealing with a very, very creepy ghost demon.
So I can go see Udalric.
No chance. You're weak. Might pass out again along the way. Wait here. We'll go together.
Yeah, hang tight, Saris. We're gonna find a sword named Brockvar. Hey, yo, Brockvar, you in here?
Brockvar, you nerd.
Where's my money? What was one of my D&D groups was throwing Moon Knight memes and had the one where Moon Knight's telling Spider-Man, "I'm the Silver Surfer. In order to prevent Galactus from eating this world, I need you to bring me as much ketamine as you can find." Spider-Man going, "Screw you, Moon Knight. I'm not falling for that one again." Oh no! Ladder boss.
Don't be defeated.
Candelabra.
Who do you think the villain in Moon Knight's going to be?
So I think the main villain is going to be
What is this about?
the Sun King. I think it'll be Ethan Hawke's character will be Ammon-Ra.
Okay.
Who is kind of diametrically opposed to the divine essence of Khonshu.
Also, Ethan Hawke is going to be in it. That'll be pretty good.
Yeah. I think that along the way, we will also see Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night. I believe that is probably who he is punching in that scene where we actually see the costume reveal.
Mm.
Found it. Let's go.
After you, then.
So, I mean, and that's the thing. I love what they're doing with all of this, because
Did you fall out of or something?
comics are so innately
Talking about that story.
stupid in their structure, right?
In fact, that was before.
It's sequential storytelling. It's very fast. You know, it's done on usually like a monthly or bi-monthly basis.
What draws you?
You gotta push so much story, and you gotta do it in a way that's both visually exciting and written in a way that keeps readers engaged, right? So comics lend themselves to like the very soap opera-y kind of things.
Yeah.
So you can appeal to different tastes, different audiences and markets with different titles. And again, if they're done well, then everybody high fives each other and you laugh all the way to the bank. If they're done poorly, you can kind of like bolster crap properties by having crossovers, right, with more popular stuff.
Don't know.
So like Iron Fist was very briefly
Let me.
super popular in the 70s in like the boom of the the kung fu era, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee was huge, and the big like pulls that they put in were Iron Fist and Shang-Chi. Right? You had the Master of Kung Fu and Iron Fist. So at the time, there was another Claremont run title that wasn't doing so well, so they did a little, a little crossover.
What happened?
Which is why Iron Fist's
Forgive him, Jarl. Geralt's got more to learn.
like a fun little bit of trivia. You know who Misty Knight is, right?
I am not sure.
Misty Knight is a disabled detective. She is missing an arm. She's an African American woman, a tough New York cop. She was played by Simone Missick wonderfully in the Netflix show.
Okay, yeah. Now
Right.
I remember who.
Misty Knight.
She was also in Luke Cage, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. The gods, their voices. I wasn't paying attention. What's this dude talking about? Whatever. They aren't the gods.
It's not the gods.
Watch your words, foreigner. You're in Skelliger, our land, and we.
Oh, so now I run into the foreigner crap. Don't make me pimp slash at you.
Let us hear what he has to
But
say. More likely
so Misty Knight had a roommate. Tom, guess who that roommate was?
Jessica Jones.
Jean Grey. The Phoenix was Misty Knight's roommate.
I didn't want.
And so these two have like they have a brownstone in New York where they're just two they're just two women trying to make it in the late 70s, splitting costs by living together, and Misty, doesn't come around when Jean's loser boyfriend Scott is there. But there's a house party. Misty's invited. There is, of course, the standard stupid superhero misunderstanding that leads to Colossus and or Wolverine getting punched through a wall.
I feel an overwhelming urge to want to slap whoever wrote this storyline.
It's Chris Claremont. It was the guy who was writing both titles at the time. It's the guy who wrote X-Men: God Loves, Man Kills. It's the dude who made X-Men popular. It worked. People went, "Oh, who are these guys? I've been reading Iron Fist for a while. Who's this guy that looks like a devil?" What's up with this Storm? This Storm lady. She seems pretty cool. All right, now I gotta go find Aki's bones. It worked. And when Iron Fist began to flag in popularity,
John.
Yes.
You should switch to another quest. This is definitely not a quest you want to do when you are distracted by other things.
Fair enough. Let me see. So it's kind of around here. Yeah, I am on a comics tangent, so but I can't get to there yet.
You definitely want to go back to just exploring or something similar.
I'll go to hit this undiscovered location, and I'll pop up another quest while I'm at it. Actually, here let's go fast travel and hit this Marlin Coast. But yeah, when Iron Fist started to flag in popularity, Luke Cage was popular at the time, thanks to capitalizing on the blaxploitation trend. So they just smashed those two together, and it became a long-running series. Right? It was wonderful. But you're also dealing with 50 years of continuity now. So the fact that the MCU is making all of these weird, goofy storylines so accessible is eternally impressive to me. You know, like, man, when young me was reading comic books and like getting picked on because of it, I never would have guessed that at some point, I would ever see like all of this stuff coming true. You know what I mean? It's real wild. It's very heartening to me. And it helps fight off the worst parts of my depression, because I have to, you know, I have to keep going. I have to stick around. Moon Knight comes out soon. Hey, now look, say what you will, I am not leaving this world until I see a Moon Knight live action series, right? Like,
with Oscar freaking Isaacs.
right. It's a dream I did not know that I had come true. Yeah. Stab that flying lady. All right. Oh, I was talking to Rob via chat earlier, Tom, and he brought up a very good point that I feel that I should ask you. Gerald, run. What's the prevalence of digital neep-norps in God of War?
Non-existent.
Oh, good. That is not the case with the older games. Hey, look at that big tower.
Yeah, they are non-existent.
Tom, on that big tower.
That's a very big tower. Where the heck are you? Like, turn towards that and go to your map.
Is that lighthouse? Is that this thing?
No, it's got to be on an island in the distance.
That one?
I doubt with how big it is. I think you're looking at that. Yeah, that island way out there.
Well, let's search these shipwrecks and then go poke that tower. But yeah, for me, the more important stuff from the Eternals is like setting up the things that come next, because I don't think that anybody's going to be like, wow, the Eternals, I have a new favorite superhero.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
Not.
Like, that being said, even with like the Eternals stuff and like Eternals characters and canon and lore and all that, they pulled a few surprises on me. Right?
I mean, I will be perfectly happy if Makari joins the Guardians of the Galaxy.
For once, Druig is not the villain. The mind control guy is not the villain.
He definitely really wanted to be.
No, like that's the wild thing, right? Who was Druig hanging around with when they finally came and like found him?
People in the middle of the Amazon?
A commune in the middle of the Amazon.
Yeah.
Those people weren't there under duress. They wanted to be there. Like, he wasn't forcing people to be there. They were there of their own free will. They were using Druig as like, hey man, you're real good at organizing. Right? Like, imagine if you had one guy who was driven enough to have made Occupy Wall Street function like it needed to. right? One person who could coordinate enough people to make this little, like, you know, communist paradise. That's what he was doing. He wasn't a cult leader. He was a comrade. I did not see that coming.
It was probably a good thing, though, that he wasn't one of the Eternals taken by Arishem to, you know, go through the memories of.
Mm-hmm. And, like, similarly, you know, now we're dealing with, like, it's getting weird, y'all. Pip the Troll and Star Fox, we're going full Infinity Watch. Right? All that we need now is Adam Warlock, and he's going to pop up in Guardians 3. So... like,
Infinity Watch?
Yeah, the Infinity Watch. A group that was specifically made... Do I have to go back and platform across all this ice?
I don't know.
No, I can just jump. Great. Yeah, the Infinity Watch is the group that, following the initial comic book version of the Infinity War, where Thanos got the Infinity Gems and stuck it in his glove. After the original comics version, it was decided that the gems were too powerful to just kind of be, like, left alone, right? You can't just be like, oh, we'll just put it here and, like, not have someone guard it. Right? They realized, you know, probably a bad idea to be like, where's the Power Stone? Oh, we left it in this temple. Well, who's at the temple? Oh, nobody. It's an ancient ruin now, but it's okay. Nobody knows where it is. Nope, that will no longer fly. People know about them now. You know, people have seen what happened, and if we just leave the Infinity Gems out and about, someone else is going to find them, and it's going to be a bad time. So a group agrees that each of its members, who are, like, they are not part of a team, right? They're not they're not like hanging out fighting crimes together. These guys.
They're not a team. They're a group with a shared goal.
Right. Each one of them takes one of the stones and then fucks off. And they go and they do their own thing. And their entire goal is to guard that stone. Right? You guard that stone with your life. The members of the Infinity Watch are Drax, Gamora, Pip the Troll, Moondragon, who is the only one that we have not met. At one point, Mantis and Adam Warlock. So it's coming, baby. It's coming, and it's gonna get nutty.
But the Infinity Watch, like, what will their purpose be now? Because in the quote-unquote prime timeline or whatever, the Infinity Stones were destroyed.
Not destroyed, returned back to their places in time by Steve.
Right, but then in time they were destroyed by Thanos.
Right. In the prime. Currently they're back where they are because everything still needed to happen.
Right.
Whoops.
But then so they were returned back to their original places in the timeline. Whoops. Thanos gets a hold of them, does the snap, wipes out half the universe, and then snaps again and destroys the stones.
Right.
So
but in the prime timeline, that wasn't how things went down.
it is how they went down, because there's not a time paradox.
Right. Remember? Now it's the snap occurred. The rest of the world's heroes combined to fight Thanos when he inexplicably returned.
But that wasn't the fight that occurs in Endgame. That's not. That's an alternate Thanos.
It's an
That's
alternate. It's an
from
alternate
another
Thanos,
timeline.
but is in our timeline now. Because otherwise,
Right, but-
why would Steve grow old? They didn't prevent Thanos from doing the snap. They reversed the snap.
Yes. That I there's confusion somewhere, because that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, they reversed the snap, but also they didn't stop Thanos from destroying the stones. So, like, the stones still exist in the past,
Right.
but in the future, post Endgame, the stones don't exist anymore. They're gone.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
there's
again, there's any kind of hand waving that you can do to muddy those waters, man. My man, like, it's comic books. Whatever they're gonna do, whatever.
I mean, like, at this point, if there were going to be Infinity Stones, they'd have to come from another timeline.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I don't think that this version of the Infinity Watch is going to be really focused on the Infinity Gems, right? I think it's going to be focused on something like adjacent. We'll have to see after Guardians, right? Like,
Well, and probably Thor: Love and Thunder as well.
Yeah, because Thor's going to be involved. We've got Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, which will almost certainly tie in with the Black Knight. I don't know. Maybe the Infinity Watch gets together to go hunt down Celestials. Maybe Makari and Druig are part of the new Watch, because God have mercy on you trying to explain Moondragon to an audience that isn't high off of their balls.
Is Moondragon an actual dragon?
No, she is a bald woman.
Well, that's less fun.
It is a little bit less fun. It is Moondragon is the resurrected soul and at times body of Drax the Destroyer's ex-wife. Right?
Well, that's got to be uncomfortable for Drax.
It is very uncomfortable for Drax, but also bears noting that in comics, Drax is not MCU Drax. Comics Drax is an alien body that was created to house the dead soul of a jazz musician.
There are so many things that are wrong with comic books.
Comics are weird, man. It was written by a bunch of dudes in New York in the 70s. Like, the Marvel offices had to be soaked in hash. Have you ever read Howard the Duck?
I have seen the movie.
Man, it doesn't get any less weird. I'm just saying, like, that's why whenever people get like super up in arms about comic book storylines, right? Whenever they're like, I can't believe that Captain America was working for Hydra all along. I'm like, I can. Comics are bizarre. That's fine. Don't sweat your head about it. It's just weird. Just
And also, I mean, by the end of that arc, like, he wasn't though.
Right. Yeah, and like, you know, that's the wild thing. The biggest like comics controversies, I suppose, as far as Marvel goes, the biggest controversies are all things that they already did in issues of What If. Right? So, like, everybody loses their mind over, you know, what do you mean Thor's a girl? And I'm like, what, like that one What If issue? Where What If Jane Foster became Thor? Spoiler alert, by the way, in case you aren't a terminally online comic nerd who had to endure everybody, like, getting really, really mad about Thor being a lady. Yeah, Jane Foster becomes Thor. She did it back in the 70s in an issue of What If. And, in my opinion, that issue of What If managed to do it in a way that I have no issue with. Right? I do have issue with the way that Marvel did it most recently. And I think I've gone on the rant about that before, right?
I'm not sure.
All right. So, in the current Marvel timeline, when Jane Foster became Thor, for some inexplicable ass reason, and I do not understand why this decision was made, like, on an editorial level. Yeah, that's a lot of sirens. I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna ignore you guys. Pardon me. They decided that when they were going to give Mjolnir to Jane Foster, that she would then become Thor. As in, she now has the name Thor and is the god of thunder, Thor. And Thor goes, well, that's fair. Mjolnir chose you. I guess I should just call myself Odin's son now. And I think that that's intensely stupid. Because
sounds like it.
Because Thor is his name. The God of Thunder is the title. Right? Thor is the name of of not only a deity, it's like the name Tom.
Well, I mean, on top of that, just because the hammer chose someone else, he isn't Thor, god of hammers.
Correct. The hammer has been used by several people in the past. When Eric Masterson had it, he did not become Thor, he became Thunderstrike. He grew a beard because he was like, yeah, Thor didn't have a beard, and I'm not him. Right? I have the powers, but I'm not the guy. Picking up the hammer did not turn Jane Foster into Thor. It gave her the powers of Thor. Thor is not a superhero name. It's just the guy's name. So, like, Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man, right? And people go, oh, that's going to be confusing. No, not really. It's Spider-Man. It's Miles Morales. Boom, no problem. You know, now there are two Hawkeyes. Which one's the real Hawkeye? They're both called Hawkeye. It's fine. Jane Foster became Thor? No. That would be like Miles Morales putting on the suit and going, now I am Peter Parker. That's weird.
And instead they're like, we already have enough Peter Parkers.
Right. Like, you can become Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the identity. You know, you can you can do all of these other things. You know, Kate Bishop can say, "I'm Hawkeye," and even Clint Barton will eventually have to go, "Yeah, she is. She's Hawkeye."
Also, I feel like someone would need to warn Miles Morales that, like, if he starts going, "I'm Peter Parker," the next
like,
thing
you don't want to
out
do
of his
that.
mouth is going to be, "Oh no, my credit rating."
Right, like, oh no, now I'm poor. Then again, it's not like Miles is rolling in money anyway. It's more like, oh no, now I'm poor and depressed, and yeah, I got a stack of dead girlfriends to worry about. It sucks to be Peter Parker, right? You should always want to be Spider-Man. You should never want to be Peter Parker. His life is unending misery.
Yeah.
In the 70s, they did the exact same storyline. What if Jane Foster picked up the hammer of Thor? What if she picked up Mjolnir? And they called her Thordis. Hey guys, you already solved the problem 20 years ago. Remember when you were like, oh yeah, what's her superhero name now that she has the power of the god of Thordis? Which in Swedish is basically like, yeah, the female Thor.
Yeah.
It'd be, you know, like if it's like Robert and Roberta, right? It's the name. Robert, but a girl. Thordis, Thor, but a girl. And man,
I wonder,
way to ignore the cultural context of a real, like, a real religion that people followed.
So I wonder what they're going to have her wield. Like, is she going to end up wielding, what is it called, Thronebreaker?
If I have my druthers, Tom, if I, like, really get my way, they will just forge a new hammer for her. Right?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, I guess they could. Needle Valir is still technically in existence.
yeah, but I mean, like however they do it, they can just forge a new hammer. Because I want Stormbreaker in whatever iteration it has. You know, currently it's the big axe-looking hammer thing that's part Groot handle.
Yeah.
I want Stormbreaker to return to its rightful owner, Beta Ray Bill. I don't have a problem with the Jane Foster Thor swinging Stormbreaker, but I really do hope that it is an intercessionary step to bring back or to bring into the MCU in more than just like a little sneaky cameo thing in Thor 3. I want them very much to bring us the Thor horse. Like, give us Beta Ray Bill. By now, we deserve it. But yeah, you know, it's no matter what, it'll be fun. I think it'll be real fun to see how everything pans out.
I mean, I feel like you wanting Beta Ray Bill is on par with how I want Fantastic Four to start out with the Council of Reeds.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Right, but like, unlike the Council of Reeds, Beta Ray Bill has already made an appearance in the MCU.
Where?
In the Grand Masters fighting arena. If you look at the faces of the champions that have that are like attached to the building, The Hulk is the latest of these champions. There's also the adorably named Bi Beast is one, and Beta Ray Bill. What up, nerd? Just kill a Cyclops without even looking at him and eat a ham sandwich. Oh man, now I'm heavy again.
I'm pretty sure that was the Cyclops that was like handing your ass to you when you first got here.
Well, who's handing an ass now? It's me. I'm handing an ass. Let me see. Food doesn't weigh anything, right?
Yeah, food doesn't weigh anything.
Okay, so I can't get rid of that by... I could just drop like one of these common weapons, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Hi, Teal'c. Whatever
No,
you
that's
are.
Rex.
Hi, Rex.
Jen just got home and he hears her, so he's barking through the door.
Ah.
Jen had to work tonight.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the weather, but like my nose is constantly running.
I mean, it has been raining nonstop since last night, so.
It's thrown off my my mini painting schedule.
There's a very tired and upset Jen here who, if she said weird things, it would get picked up by my microphone and would end up on YouTube.
Yeah, and you know that that's something that Jen fears, winding up on YouTube, saying weird stuff. Hey Jen, you don't have to worry about my channel being, or this video being demonetized.
John's face is made out of butts.
My face is apparently made out of butts.
He did indeed.
Words of wisdom from about roughly 4 feet of person. Like, I'm not going to say that Jen's like half a person, right? She's like 2/3.
She is 100% full-size goblin.
Right. Full-size goblin.
She's not half a person. She is a full-size goblin.
Full-size, well, one goblin. The exchange rate is off.
I am 4 raccoons in a trench coat, thank you.
A trench coat in this heat? Come on. But no, man, it's going to be real good. I'm excited for all the stuff that's coming up. Of course, feeding into this excitement, I have been painting a lot of the Marvel Crisis Protocol guys, so... Which, if you're looking for a game that is made by people who love comic books, these guys love comic books. They lean into all the weird stuff that we were just talking about, right?
And the figures look really cool.
They do. They do. But there's like so many different like gameplay things that you can do. There's a card specifically if you're like running an X-Men team, right? If you have Jean Grey in your team and she dies, an allied Wolverine or Cyclops figure can immediately make an attack as they scream dramatically, "Jean!" And I love that. Well, I found my way to Nava Isle. It is a good week for night swimming. Yeah, man, they're coming along. I'm actually pretty proud with what I've done so far. I need to figure out how to get my camera settings so I can actually like take pictures of them and film myself painting them.
Sure.
But that's for somebody more technologically advanced than I.
So in other discussion news that we had
Yeah.
talked about, you wanted to. Well, I originally brought up the topic, but you also wanted to discuss it. The Scion RPG setting.
Yeah, now I have only like thumbed through it a little bit. I do not own Scion, but I do as I understand it is functionally American Gods, the role-playing game.
To a degree, and first edition was definitely more like that than second edition is. Because first edition was like I had been texting you about this earlier, but to catch people up who might be listening, in first edition of Scion, you played the child of a god who has they call it visitation, where you like learn about your divine heritage, and then the whole idea of Scion is you eventually like grow into your divine power. But it's set in basically our world, so like it's that traditional like World of Darkness feel where it's our world just a little bit different. And most of the
Percy Jackson, but edgy.
Yeah, where like most of the supernatural stuff isn't really known about by people. But with second edition, now like people know that gods exist. Gods are very enigmatic and they don't interact with the world a whole bunch, but like in the world of Scion 2.0, like there's no like someone who's an atheist in that world, people look at them like, what is wrong with you? Like,
What are you?
Thor came
some
to
kind of
Earth.
idiot? Yeah, and that's how I've often run gods in like my D&D settings, right? Like you can't logically go through something like, you know, like the Time of Troubles and be like, well, I don't believe in the existence of gods, because no, they screw things up all the time, all of the time.
Yeah.
You can, however, go, no, I know that god's out there. They're a jerk, and I refuse to worship them.
Yes, and that's very much what Scion 2.0 is. And also, interestingly, the supernatural elements are pulled into prominence in the setting where, like, old religions, like all of the, like, old pantheons, never died out. So, like, you know,
It's like
Northern
they're
Europe
just like
is
running
still,
mystery cults?
No, like, in some cases, they're full on, like, organized religions. Like, in Northern Europe, it's basically still dominated by people who worship the Aesir. So, like, you know, all of these old religions still have a lot of power in the world, and the pantheons have a lot of power, and like major historical figures are known to have been scions.
Well, I don't know what happened with this ship, but it looks pretty ratty.
It's just floating out here. That's real creepy.
Yeah, just being... Oh, merman! No, merman.
I believe that's a drowner.
Water is the essence of wetness.
I'm a merman, Pop. A merman.
Man. Uh-oh. And now I'm heavy again. Hang on, I need to drink my killer whale and... Okay. No, wrong one. Up you go, Gary. Come on.
So what you're saying is, John, is you think you have the black lung?
Maybe. I might have accidentally trapped myself under this boat. Nope, we got it. Ah, we made it. All right. Inventory. See you later, axe.
I like to JON in the middle.
See you later, steel short sword. See you later, small blackjack. Smaller blackjack. Gen-sized blackjack.
Oh, that's definitely not something you want to give to her.
No. Not if you value the sanctity of your skull. Goodbye Knight's Gauntlets, and... Oh, that was a good one to ditch. And goodbye Trapper's Boots. Alright. Okay.
But yeah, so
Back
one
down
of the
we
other
go.
changes... One of the other changes that they've made with Scion 2.0, so in first edition Scion, the whole like pathway of being a Scion was more or less linear. Like, you start out as a Scion, you go on to be a demigod, and then you go on to be a god. Like, it was a very linear process. Scion 2.0 basically
The Psioning.
yeah. Basically the way it works in that one is there are lots of Scions, like, all over the place. And also equivalent to Scions are various types of mythological creatures that you could be playing. Like, you could play a satyr in Scion 2.0. Like, it's totally... You totally have the ability to play some other kind of supernatural creature, not just like the human child of a deity.
Right. So Jen could actually give like full gremlin representation.
Yes, 100%. But Scions are really common, and they're kind of like all over the place throughout history in the world of Scion 2.0. Demigods are less common, and being a demigod is treated as a very ephemeral state. Like, you either succeed and go on to the step of becoming a god, or you slip back down to being a Scion. Like, you don't stay as a demigod. You either move up or you fall back down. And also, they've now made... I think you're swimming inside... You just clipped into that ship, and you might be stuck there.
Nah, I'll just dive out of it. It's fine. Oh. Well, I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Reload an old save.
Yeah, I'm gonna save this in Wolf's Clothing. I've used that one for a while. I'm gonna save the game. Yes, and then we're gonna load the game, and we're gonna load it right about there. All right. This time, without CD Projekt Red shenanigans.
It had destroyed a vast swath of forest. Geralt set out for the island to join the sorcerers and seek further clues of Ciri's whereabouts.
Go on. So you slip back down into being a Scion. Like, it's kind of like being a like a cleric of a particular deity.
Yeah, basically.
In D&D context.
Yeah. So, if you actually do succeed in going up the step from demigod to god, though, so previously in Scion 1.0, it was very difficult for a Scion to make the leap from demigod to god. Like, most of them would die before they made that point. And in 1.0, it was always... you become a new god when you hit god level.
Ooh.
And that's still an option in 2.0. You could still forge your own divine identity and become a new god of something. But there's also other options. Like, you could absorb the mantle of another god. and then they stop being a god, and you take their place.
Okay, so a succession of deification.
Basically.
Interesting.
And then the other thing that can happen is you become part of their divinity.
Oh, okay, so you either take over the portfolio or are absorbed into it.
And the way fate works in the world of Scion, it suddenly becomes you were always part of their divinity. So that's basically how the in-game system works with, like, Jesus.
It's ineffable, baby.
Like, Jesus was always Yahweh, even when he was a scion of, because by the time he achieved apotheosis, he merged with that mantle.
One of my favorite concepts, apotheosis. And in fact, a continual utterance in the household, as I often announce to the cats when I put on fuzzy clothings, behold, I have achieved my dark apotheosis. Look, man.
And the cats do not understand because they are all born gods.
Well, yeah, and also you have to keep them, like, they're cats, man. You got to keep them as confused as you possibly can. Like, you can't let them organize. They will eat your face. They're adorable, and I love them, but I don't for a second forget that they will eat my face given the first opportunity. That's okay. I mean, it's the same thing with many of my friends, so.
I would not, John.
No, Tom, you would know better than to eat my face. You're not looking for the soft bits. You would consume me in order to further survive. So you'd probably go with the butt cheeks.
John, come on now. I would eat your heart to consume your power.
Right, but at that point, like, what power could there possibly be if some lederhosen wearing short pants assassin took me out?
Oh, I wouldn't be the one to take you out. Clearly, I'd be Jen. What is this flipping craziness?
Oh, you know, storm tree.
John, I think your game is going insane because you've just been swimming around in the ocean.
The game's like, I have to do something to keep from being so bored. We expected him to use a boat.
Like, the game coded boats for a reason.
The game says, this guy put on a wolf mask and hasn't taken it off for months.
What was that Rob wrote?
Rob says, unionized cats for more faces to nom. Yeah, you can't let them organize. They are the worst kinds of economists. As adorable as they all may be, it is a sad fact that all cats are libertarians.
The worst kind of libertarians.
Mm-hmm. Like ANCAPs. All cats are libertarians. God. I need to get more sleep, I think.
Well, we know that's not going to happen.
I mean, maybe. I did just get a new pillow, so... But, like, there's so much, you know, there's so much good stuff to watch, right? Like, I caught up on My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. I need to catch up on Demon Hunter. I watched Peacemaker.
So, talking about anime,
Mm-hmm.
Jen and I recently started Psychopaths,
How is
and
it?
that is a surprisingly good cyberpunk anime.
Mm. Did you watch Arcane yet, Tom?
Oh, I watched it before you did. Remember?
That's right. That's right. You're the one who told me to do it.
For
Yes.
you, and you were skeptical.
I was very skeptical, and I gave you my my official mea culpa already. That's right.
I mean, I'll just keep reminding you. It's okay.
Yeah. No, now look, I can't take offense to that, right? Very rarely in my life am I wrong, so when I am, it should be noted, right? I am getting all kinds of... Ow! Bam!
John, you're picking up lots of stuff, but you desperately need to go sell things.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You need to like fast travel not to somewhere in Skellige. You need to like fast travel to Novigrad, where there's a whole bunch of merchants in a very small area.
Well, tell you what. I'll get to Holmstein's Port and I'll do just that. But in the meanwhile, like I am carrying around like a bunch of crap weapons, right? So
yeah.
who care? Besides, like as always, we've got 2 viewers, and this is episode 42 of this. We have put like 106 hours into this game. If you're coming for like high level gameplay, you are on the wrong channel. If you're coming to watch a pair of middle-aged leftists talk about comic books while one of them plays a game very badly, then I am the channel for you.
Yeah. And occasionally we play Borderlands together.
Spread the word.
Completely destroy entire rooms.
Spread the word. Tell all of your friends to go listen to the 40-year-old leftist.
Speaking of, would you be down for Borderlandsing like Wednesday or so?
Yeah, man. Just let me know. Sort items by price. See, I like under 100. I don't get out of here. 119. Get out of here. 21. Out of here. 25. Out of here. Peace out, pants.
Yeah, so I think Scion is really cool. I've been like kind of just going through and reading it and getting used to all the changes in the cosmology. I have no idea what I would run. Like not even remotely. Especially because one of the other big changes to the dynamics in first edition Scion, it was very much gods versus the Titans. Like the Titans were always antagonistic. Whereas in second edition, whether or not gods see Titans as antagonistic is very much based on which pantheon they are.
Ah.
So like the Theoi, the gods of Olympus, are very much anti-Titan.
There's an anime my daughter watches is pretty decent called Little Witch Academia. I am all about these school settings. Quick side note from Rob. Go on.
But yeah, so like the Greek gods, for obvious reasons, are very much anti-Titan and hate all of them and feel like they're at war. But like the Orishas from Africa are like, no, they're cool. They're part of the natural balance, just like we are. So, you know, we work with them. Occasionally, we fight them. It all depends on the circumstances.
Dude, Tom, tell me that this is not one of the best elevator pitches for an anime series that you've ever heard. You ready for it?
Yeah.
It's about a young witch trying to realize her full potential. Unfortunately, she's incredibly bad at magic. And Tom, whale.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. That is way too big.
We're there he is. Look at the size of that guy. I'm getting the hell out of here. My thalassophobia just started kicking in.
Right? So how much thalassophobia can I talk about? Because Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm telling you, man.
Are there many of the sharks there?
There are. It is far worse than Black Flag.
Hey, buddy, I'm not playing any of those games, so you'll have to tell me about them.
So Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I think you would be fine with, because all of the times where anything dealing with sharks comes up, it's all optional content. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, but also, like, you know how good I am at optional stuff, right? Like this game is mostly side quests, and here I am.
You can't
shooting sirens.
You can't blunder into the optional content. You have to choose. So all of the areas where sharks show up in Black Flag are specific diving sequences where your character uses a diving bell to go and rob shipwrecks. And you have to choose to go do them. Like you can't just like dive into the water and then you're there.
Right.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you dive in the water and then you're there. And that game, like, quest givers will give you missions where they're like, hey, go kill 5 sharks for me.
Nope.
And on top of that, this is one of the things. So there have been 2 things in that game that have absolutely set off my thalassophobia. First, there are humpback whales that are just swimming around the ocean, and they will 100% jump out of the water right next to your ship.
Oh, they breach?
With
That's
no
awesome.
warning. You have absolutely no warning, and they are like the size of your ship. It's freaking terrifying.
Yeah, that sounds pretty spooky.
The second thing is, when you're out on your ship and you're in the open ocean, sharks will appear, and you can actually kill them with your ship. Like, you can have the archers on board your ship shoot them, or you can, like, stop your ship, pull out your own bow, and shoot them. But here's the thing. In order to make them visible when you are in ship mode, because ship mode is a much, like, larger scale, they have to scale up the sharks, and they scale down again if you get close to them. But if you kill one of them while they are scaled up and then go and try and loot the crafting supplies off of them, they don't scale back down after they're dead. So you will kill a shark with your trireme and then jump in the water to go and loot the crafting supplies off it, and it's a freaking megalodon sitting on the bottom of the ocean?
Nope.
Yeah. Don't like that at all.
Not a fan of that. Rob, I highly recommend both My Hero Academia and Demon Hunter, if you're looking for anime to watch.
What did he say it was called? Little Witch Academia?
This is Little Witch Academia, which I'm going to add to my queue.
Yeah, as soon as we get off this stream, I'm going on Hulu and adding it to our queue.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man. You know, we're all just trying to get through Pandemathon 2022.
So you're almost to your port here, where you're going to go off and sell stuff, and it's after 9:30. So I'm going to have to get going.
No, it is a good time for it. I just got to find a way out of this water.
You should be able to climb up on the dock.
Eh.
Or into that boat. You want to climb onto the boat.
I got it.
And then onto the dock.
I got it. I'm gonna go talk to these. Bless you. I'm gonna go sell my stuff and call it a night. Just finished Snow Crash. Then you would probably also enjoy this the anime that Tom was talking about, Psycho-Pass.
They're very different in tone.
They are very well. I mean, you're not gonna find like an anime like Snow Crash tone. That doesn't happen. The grindstone. There's our blacksmith. All right,
but John, I am gonna get going so I can get ready for work tomorrow.
Anything you want to plug before you go?
Nope, think I'm good.
All right. I highly suggest if anybody is watching this now or watching in the future. Hello, time travelers. While you can, and especially if you have young kids, go out and get copies of Art Spiegelman's Mouse. M-A-U-S. Both volumes 1 and 2. The actual titles for them are My Father Bleeds History and Here My Troubles Began. Go get these books. There is a school board, I want to say in Tennessee, decided that the books were inappropriate for children because of the language and one scene of nudity, which made it obscene. And it's one of the most powerful and important...
John, before you go running off, there's a blacksmith right in that square that you're running away from.
Warp. Oh, thank you. Read those books. Those books are important, and people should read them. Hang on. I'm going to talk to this dude and get my money changed real quick.
How can I be of service?
The blacksmith is on the same side where the money changer is, just down the way.
Yeah, I remember where he is now.
Come to that.
But I'm going to get going. You have a good one, man.
You too, my friend. Yeah, everybody, read those books. And, of course... Oh, that's right, the blacksmith, he done left. He's not there anymore. Or maybe it's just because it's 1 in the morning. But read those books, they're important. If you haven't read them before, I can't say that you're like... I can't in good conscience say, oh wow, you're in for a treat, because they're not fun books, but they are very important. Yeah. Like, Rob was there when I first read them back in 1993, I think. I was like 12 or 13. They're important. It is a story without heroes. There are only survivors. And I think it's reprehensible to try and ban the book from being taught in schools. The moment that somebody tries to ban information from kids, I think that those kids should be provided with it outside of the school then, and conversations need to be had about why that book was banned. So instead of being like, being like, I can't believe they'd ban it, look at this as an opportunity. Your kids need to know this stuff. They need to know it. Because if we don't teach this kind of history, it happens again. We have to teach what happened. So I know a bit of a downer note to end a fun, happy video game stream on. But seriously, y'all, like, that stuff is important. Don't assume that that kids are foolish either. You know, these kids know. Kids feel stuff much more intensely than I think that we give them credit for. So listen to your kids and you know, talk to them about this kind of stuff. But that's it for me. I'm gonna sell some stuff and maybe do a little bit of light crafting, and we'll see you guys next time. Like Tom said, we're gonna be doing Borderlands Wednesday-ish. I'm going to be starting God of War soon as a stream. Once I finish the game and make sure that there are no digital neep norps, then my second playthrough, where I go like a full completionist thing, I will stream with you guys, and it will be incredible. The game is very good, and if you haven't watched a playthrough yet, stick around and watch mine. But I love all of you. Take care, everybody. Be good out there. Don't forget, your boss, they know how much you're worth, and they know that they ain't paying that to you. Break your dependence on money. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody.